Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Heart and Soul Promotion as we present the last show of the year, the Pulse 2023, the last Pulse show of the year. And I was hoping to have some people here. We could ask some questions, but apparently, right now, everybody's busy visiting the family and all that stuff. So I'm flying blind here at the moment, but we've got a couple of people here. So if you want to ask some questions, while we wait for some people to show up, ask your questions. Heart and Soul Promotions. This is about the year in review. Wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So there we go. We got our first question up here. We got a hey, Dr. Quack on set with us here. All right. So just want to let everybody know we're still going strong. We're going to go into 2024. 7 minutes in hell. Mr. Wallace against Old School, because the last time these two faced off, they tied. And in title matches, there is no coin flip. So we have to have a guaranteed winner. So if we have to bring in a fourth judge, we will be bringing in a fourth judge. But we're going to get 7 minutes from each of these guys. They're both master wordsmiths. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top on that one. We know there's going to be another Johnny Blade assessment challenge. I'm curious to see who Johnny Blade's going to pick. It'll be interesting. If you've got an idea, somebody you want to tell Johnny Blade who they think they should pick for the assessment challenge, go ahead and leave a message up here. We also know coming up soon, Chaotic Order and the Cartel. They're going to get their tag team title match. That's going to be very, very interesting. You know, we saw that Storyteller was kind of down in the dumps, but Half Past Black's taking it out there. Beat Bossolini, tied A-List Alverson, something they said nobody would be able to do with Half Past Black would be tie A-List Alverson, and he did it. He beat Bossolini. I'm curious to see how this goes. So it's great to have everybody on here. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up into the new year. We've got a lot of things. We're going to try and get Promo Big Brother going again. We've been reorganizing things after Dr. Quack has moved on to do the house calls. So I want to try and bring that back. We want to try and develop some more talent here, bring in some more names here for you guys to see. So we've been reaching out, putting feelers out there. We've already got some great talent here that came in recently. Johnny Rockstar, great talent. Jacob X, great talent. These two new guys here to Heart and Soul Promotion have been making some noise. There's also some rumors of somebody returning, somebody known all throughout the promo world that might be making their return to Heart and Soul Promotions. So be watching for that news here in a little bit. I'm also curious, Johnny Blade and the Heathen. This match is going to be interesting. Johnny Blade, you know, he's been doing here's a question. Will Jordan Drake ever promo here? It isn't from lack of effort. I have tried very hard to get Jordan Drake to appear on here. We know he is the arbitrator here, but I would like to see Jordan Drake promo. I really would. I know he's kind of taking more of a managerial backstage role. He doesn't do a lot of competition anymore. I would love to have him on screen once because I know what his retirement match is, and I'd love to have it here. But Jordan Drake has never competed here, and the person he wants to face has never competed here. Still would be a great and interesting choice to get Jordan Drake on the screen. So message Jordan Drake. Reach out to him when he's doing stuff with the Asylum Promo Federation or with VOH or here at Heart and Soul. Leave that message on there. Hashtag Storyteller versus Jordan Drake. That's a good one. I would love to see that one. I definitely agree on that one. I think A-List Alverson and Jordan Drake would be another very, very interesting match. Even Old School, somebody who's a little, more in your face, taking on somebody who's very reserved, the Southern Gentleman against Old School, that would be another very interesting match. So we'll go with that. What else, any other match ideas or any other things, stories you'd like to see appear here at Heart and Soul Promotions? Any matches that you would like to see? Anybody you'd like to see us reach out to, maybe to try and bring them into Heart and Soul Promotions? This is your time to talk to us and tell us what you're thinking. Because with the new year in 2024, that we're about giving everybody opportunities here at Heart and Soul Promotions. Um, as you know, as I was talking about, Heathen, he's been all over Johnny Blade, calling him the fake. Oh, half past black versus Quack. Wow. I don't know if we could pull Quack out of retirement. He likes doing the house calls. It's we can't afford his fee much anymore because he makes a lot of money on them house calls. Doctors do that kind of stuff. They get to bill you for mileage to and from, and they have to pay, you have to pay for them to get out of their car, and you got to pay the car fees and all that stuff. So I would love to see that one too. I really would. Half Past Black has really been stepping it up here and showing his skills. He had a long losing streak here to start off, but all of a sudden he's found his stride. Once he hit his perfect 21, he found his stride, and the judges dig Half Past Black. And I know the fans do enjoy Half Past Black. He was the only person to get the most favorite and the most hated at the same time, get votes on both. So I would like to see that one too. I don't know if it'll happen, but I would. So as I was saying, Heathen's been all over Johnny Blade's case, calling him the fake promo artist because he comes from the professional wrestling world. And Johnny Blade, he made his way through the title ranks really quick, and he's out still trying to establish and prove himself. He's been wanting to get after Heathen. Heathen wants to get after Johnny Blade, and that one's coming up on the 25th of January. We're going to get to finally see that match. So I don't know about all the cartel's rules involving the Heathen. If he wins or loses, does that let him out of his contract? I don't know this. We're going to find that out as we're going along here too. So give me just a second here. So let me pose the question again. Is there anybody out there who's watching who has somebody they'd like to see come to Heart and Soul Promotions? I know there's a few names out there I would like to see. Jordan Drake is definitely one. And I'll tell you this, although he's very, very busy with the Silent Promo Federation, which are on good terms here with Heart and Soul Promotions, I would like to see Seven back, even just one off here and there. I think that would be a nice little change of pace. He always brings something interesting to the show. Let me see. Who else would I think would be a nice addition here to Heart and Soul Promotions? SNES, I think, would be a very good one. I don't know. I haven't seen much of him. He may have hung up his mask in his retro games. Yeah, I agree. I would like to get Toadsterdamus back, but I know he's going on with Defiance, and I wish him the best on making Defiance work. But I would definitely like to have Toadsterdamus back here. Another name that would kind of shock some people. Well, that's true. Never say never. But here's a name that would shock some people, and I've actually always been a fan of his. I would like to see El Wapo come here to Heart and Soul Promotions. I think he has a different feel about him that would shake up things here in Heart and Soul Promotion a little bit. I think El Wapo would be an interesting one. Well, then prove it. Well, it says his Facebook user, so I don't know who that was, and I don't know what's referenced to. So, but give us some names. Who would you like to see? You already got Toadsterdamus mentioned up here. We got Jordan Drake mentioned up here. Like I said, I'd like to see SNES and El Wapo if they're still available and still in the promo world. I wouldn't mind them joining Heart and Soul Promotions family. So since we've got Jordan Drake and Toadsterdamus, let's see if this lights up the chat a little bit. Jordan Drake versus Toadsterdamus. What would you guys think? Who do you think would win that one? Give people a second here to comment. Okay. All right. So no comments on that one. That one doesn't seem to interest people here. Better be Drake. Okay. Interesting. Better be Drake. Tonester wins. So we've got two Facebook users fighting it out. So A-List Alverson, Jordan Drake. How about that one? Who do you think wins that one? So while you guys are talking about that, we have a new booking committee that's being built and put together. We're going to try some new ideas here. A-List wins. Somebody said A-List wins between A-List and Jordan Drake. So we're going to be trying some new things here in 2024. So don't be so. We're going to be trying some new things because we want to see. We got to know what's going to work and what doesn't work, and the only way to know is to actually give some stuff a try. So we're going to be looking at divisions for the Pro or for the Pure Heart title and the Soulfire title. That's going to be coming up here in the near future once we get everything established. So we got some things getting ready to happen for 2024. Plus, I want to make this because I know this was a popular thing. In 2024, we're going to start the prediction show again, the HSP prediction show. There you go. Shady versus He. That'd be an interesting who had the advantage on that one. That would be a good one. But we're going to restart the prediction show for the pay-per-views. We'll probably do those on Tuesdays, right before the pay-per-view. So we can talk about it, pick the matches. We're going to start with the Royal Rumble. That will be our very first one, and we're going to go for the whole year of 2024. We're going to be reaching out to Randy Hogan, bringing Randy Hogan back if he is available and he's feeling good to do his predictions on the show. We'll be keeping track of the scores. It'll be just like it was before. We'll announce the matches. You win, you get the point. You lose, you don't get the point. You get the something that's unexpected, something that wasn't announced going to happen. So we're going to try bringing that back. Well, let's see what we got here. A Jordan Drake is a man of refinement, of eloquence, a true Southern gentleman. Aha! So Jordan Drake is calling out A-List Alverson. That maybe we can get that signed after all. We might have wet his whistle enough, besides with Scotch, to encourage Jordan Drake to maybe take a match here. And I know A-List Alverson loves to rub it in people's faces, so I'm pretty sure we can get that signed. But the hard part is Jordan Drake, getting Jordan Drake to accept the match. But I want to see that one. Let's see what we can do for that one. Because I'll tell you, the perfect place for that match would be the Champion Showcase. Let them build it up to June. Champion Showcase. A-List has his hands full. Well, he does have a tag title match coming up. Plus, he's got his hand up Rich Man's ass because Rich Man is really a puppet. A-List Alverson makes his mouth move, and that's the only reason Rich Man is doing anything here. Shady versus Drake. Ooh, that would be interesting. Shady versus Drake. What do you guys think on that one? I would like to see that one. That's definitely a contradiction of styles. Jordan Drake, the man of refinement, who does not use a lot of graphics, against Shady, who brings tons of graphics to the show. That would be very, very interesting. Southern Bad Boy versus the Southern Gentleman. Oh yeah, I agree that the Southern Bad Boy against the Southern Gentleman. Definitely an interesting match there. I would love to see that one as well. So maybe we can get Jordan Drake here on full time, besides just doing the arbitration stuff. You never know. As somebody said up here, never say never. because I've never said Jordan Drake won't be here. I would like to see him here, but finding the enticement to Jordan Drake is the hard part. All right, so who would like to? I'm going to ask this question. He hasn't been here in a while, and we wish him the best as he goes through his sobriety. Rig. Does anybody think Rig will return to the promo world or Heart and Soul promotion sometime in 2024? What does everybody think of that idea? Let's see what people think here of that one. Rig making a return in 2024. Now, like I said, we are not rushing him, asking him. I just would like to get to judge the room, as they say. So, let's see. Sorry, multitasking here. So we don't have anybody mentioning anything on Rig. So let's play a little speculation here. Highway Hell. Oh, only if it's good for him. Well, that I fully agree with, and that's the thing is we're not rushing him back or we're not making any feelers to him. I was gonna say, besides Chaotic Order versus Highway Hellraisers, and Fear the Beards. That would be a blowout match. Heathen knows Old School. They've known each other for a long, long time. Rig knows Old School, known him for a long, long time. New to the game was the American Roughneck. He's only been in this game a few years, and he works on Roughneck schedule because he's a very, very busy man with school. And we encourage you to be educated, educate yourself if that's what you want to do. Go out and get you some schooling, which the Roughneck is doing. But man, when he's on screen, it is intense. Somebody's coming back soon. That's like I said, we've got people out there that said they might be making a comeback that have been gone from Heart and Soul Promotions for a little while. This could be one of them. I know you guys are watching the comments. I am not, so I do not know who Facebook user is. All I know is we have a lot of them. So anything else anybody here wants to talk about? Since nobody wants to come on, I've been holding the fort down. Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about? Leave a message in the comments here, and let's see what else we can talk about before we bid 2023 a fond farewell, Auld Lang Syne, and Merry Christmas. Anything at all you'd like to bring up? Or if anybody wants to ask a question about things here, Quack versus Mayhem. I left fingerprints on his back the last time I faced Dr. Quack. Oh, promo battle. I mean, you're talking about promo battle here. And yes, you can ask Dr. Quack about the back chop. He got one in New Jersey and was not happy about it. Yes, I agree. Dr. Quack knows about it. That's probably him there with his laugh his ass off about the back chop. Oh, okay. Here, he actually signed it. It was painful. Shady versus Quack. That would be an interesting one. Dr. Quack, I don't promo because I'm not great at the vignette stuff. Dr. Quack was. Dr. Quack was pretty good at it. He won some titles, won some matches. I've won one match, and it was because I could sing. I can't promo. That's why I don't promo. But Dr. Quack and Shady, that would be an interesting one. What do you think on that one, folks? Then do it live. Sure. Dr. Quack is not very good at live. So we'll see. As it said before, never say never. It would be an honor to face Quack. Oh, do we afford the house call to bring him in? We never know. Again, never say never. Just because he's not the president anymore and he's doing the house calls doesn't mean he wouldn't put on the scrubs one more time. Or the lab coat. I'm sure he's tired of his fingers not smelling like shit. So, the 2-finger salute, he needs to get something done. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to keep it going. I'm having a little fun, I guess, entertaining myself and entertaining the people that are commenting. And I'm here for you guys. Put it in my new contract. All right. Well, he's still competing, just on a light schedule. So you never know. He's burnt out. He's an old timer past his prime. So you never know. PPF. That's where he's competing. He's competing over with Old Schools League, PPF. And we want to say thank you to Old School taking his time, besides at PPF, being here, competing for us, and being a good representative, good champion. Got to read the fine print. All righty. And that's from our illustrious Shady Sean McKenzie. Guys are having some fun here. Keep them coming. As long as you guys want to keep talking, keep putting up messages, we'll stay on here. Still got half an hour at least of time that I'm trying to make everybody go off on a note. Again, this is not storyline driven. This is just to have some fun. Who's HSP top 10 player of the year? Well, what do you guys think? Who do you think would be the top here in HSP? Top 10. I hadn't thought about doing a top 10. It's something we do internally from time to time. It's kind of faded out a little bit because we want to try and bring it back. Like I said, we're trying to do the divisions, having a pure heart division and a soulfire division. We'll see if that works. And then those top 10s mean a little bit more where you're actually trying to fight your way up and down the ladder. So just saying who's the best 10 people we got here is very subjective. But if it was me, until somebody says otherwise, thank you. So the criteria that we have for the top 10 is whatever you guys want to use. And when we did our top 10, it had nothing to do with win-loss record. It was entertainment value. And speaking of entertainment value, we have someone here to join us. So I want to ask his opinion, first of all, on this idea that's kind of been bounced around. Jordan Drake. Sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a while since I've been here in HSP. Now, what, pray tell, is this idea bouncing around in your head? Because more than once has your enthusiasm needed to be curbed by the arbitrator.
Aha. So, first of all, the name of the next show is the eponymous named match that is the main event, 7 Minutes in Hell. The question, Jordan Drake, was, first of all, a lot of people in these comments wanted to see Jordan Drake compete here in Heart and Soul Promotions. And you and I have talked about this many, many times offhand because for those of you that didn't know, when I first got talked into and brought into the promo world, I knew nothing about it. I didn't really know it existed. And Dr. Quack and a guy named Timmy Renz or Landfage, and Timmy Renz brought up that my gimmick when I would wear the shirt and tie before I started trying to rep Redbubble was very similar in appearance to Jordan Drake. And I got talked into having a gentleman's match in my first match ever in promo, and I think it was the main event of the show. Was it not?
It was either the main event or the semi. We were at the top of the card. I don't remember.
And so
we sold
Jordan
the show,
Drake,
I'll say that.
Jordan Drake defeated me, and rightfully so. He gave the better promo. Dr. Quack thought it was rigged, and when I watched the promo match between the two of us, I said Jordan Drake won, and we've talked about this at length. I've also talked about you becoming a part of the Heart and Soul active roster. Two names or three names that got brought up that would be interesting, and I want to see your opinion on them. The first one, Jordan Drake and Shady Sean McKenzie. Your thoughts?
That is one of those very clash of styles matches. That's like putting a super heavyweight in the ring with a Rey Mysterio or a Juventud Guerrero. It's the exact opposite styles that will make a match like that great, or it will just be a jumbled mess. Now, Shady's an interesting character, and somebody mentioned the Southern Bad Boy against the Southern Gentleman.
Yes.
A wise man once said, just because you're a gentleman does not mean that you cannot be violent. I have shown that in the past. Now, I wish that Shady and I could have a dignified, decent match, but something tells me that that will quickly degenerate into a bloodbath, although probably an entertaining one.
All righty. Another one here, which is one we've talked about a lot, and it actually came up here. Storyteller versus Jordan Drake.
The only problem with this match is both Storyteller and I would need a much lengthier match than the standard 3.5 minutes. We would tell an epic, a magnum opus, as it were.
That is true. And the last one that was brought up here is the one everybody talks about all the time. So I saved it for last. A-List Alverson, Jordan Drake.
And the reason you saved it for last, rightly so, is because if Jordan Drake would ever meet and does ever meet A-List Alverson, it will be on last because it will be the main event. And no matter what is underneath us, nothing will compare. And that's even the Pure Heart champion.
And that is fair. Because your main attraction doesn't always have to be the title match. It could be that one-off outsider main event talent. Like, you know, if a Hulk Hogan walked onto your show, just as an example, your heavyweight title match does not go on last.
Unless you book like Vince McMahon.
And I don't. We've discussed this at length too. So, one, Mr. Drake, what are some kind of matches here at Heart and Soul you would like to see that you either haven't seen in a while or have never seen?
I want to see. That's just a guilty pleasure. I cannot think of the proper people to embarrass to be part of this match. But considering the amount of crybabies that I see in promoing in general, sooner or later, somebody is going to be sucking on a pacifier and dressed in a diaper.
I kind of like that one. That's a callback to the 80s, for those of you, by the way. Mr. Drake and I talk at length about the old days of wrestling when it was more storyline driven and less stunt show driven. And there were managers by the name of Crybaby Waldo and Crybaby Eric who used to, their specialties were to lose wearing a diaper match. That would be an interesting, and that's something that hasn't been done here. We've seen the dress, we've seen the lose your beard or lose your hair. Promoing in a diaper and a pacifier with a baby bonnet would be something new. I have to agree with that one. I'd like to see that one somehow. I don't want to just throw that one out there. You have to build the story to it, but that still would be interesting.
Now, the other one, this one myself I've toyed around, but it's a logistical nightmare, is throughout all the planning I've done, I want to figure out how to present the promo version of a cage match.
That would be difficult. You are right. Because we already have, the no holds barred stuff, the anything goes stuff. But how to pull off that? Because in wrestling terms, all those matches are all gimmick matches. Whether you do a lumberjack strap or a cage or whatever, they're all basically the same thing. It's just the optics. But in promo, you don't have those same optics. So it's a little interesting. I think the other one would be difficult, would be the aforementioned lumberjack match. How you could pull that off in the promo world? You have like 8 people on screen, 2 people are talking, and if somebody does something, then they get to interfere or something like that, or somebody tries to escape and someone else. There's coming up with some of these ideas to how to make them work in promo.
No.
Just stand in a dog pen cage promo. All righty.
Hey, look, as long as we're not breaking ourselves down into the Pujami prison match, I think we're doing all right.
Fair point.
As far as lumberjacks go, why couldn't we?
We would have to figure out. It's the same thing, the logistical nightmare of how to put it together and make it work. Because on a screen like this, 2 people talk at the same time. All you hear is 2 people talking.
Right, but the lumberjacks in a true, and when I say true lumberjack match, ladies and gentlemen, it is not the degenerative matches that WWF and WCW turned them into. They were legitimate in-the-game matches, because you normally had an equal amount of faces and heels on either side of the ring, and you didn't actively want to go outside. It was a death trap waiting to happen. However, two competitors are given 3.5 minutes normal promo time. We could randomize 8 individuals, 4 for each person, that they were allowed a 1 or 2 sentence attack that the individual competitor could put in their promo. The caveat is that you have to use all 8 promos for the clip show. That would end up giving us a 7.5 minute match. That's a main event match.
Yeah. This is an interesting idea as well. A Survivor Series style match between companies. This has been done before in various other ways. The only thing with Survivor Series style, if you're talking old Survivor Series, it's elimination.
No. I'm not talking about a Survivor Series style. I mean,
well, that's what this comment was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even looking down at the comments.
Right. And while you're reading that, we got someone else who's like to come on here and talk. Please welcome Half Past Black.
I knew he'd appear. Hello, Black.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's up? I came on here for a gripe, a bitch, so to say. Right. I don't understand how the hell that two judges were able to tie me and Borsellini. The guy didn't even realize that A-List never beat me. Like, where was his mind at? So how the hell could that even be considered us being on par? I mean, I'm just being honest, right? When exactly is Chaotic Order versus the Cartel's actual match date?
Well, it was supposed to be in December, but Rich Man moved it to January 25th.
Okay, good. That's good. That's good to hear. Now, another thing I kind of wanted to address was I keep hearing about these top 20 things, and I'm getting flack saying that I don't appear enough, I don't compete enough to deserve a spot in the top 20. Here's my professional opinion. All right. Okay. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk are all considered part-times, right?
Fair.
They're needle movers, kind of like me. Y'all can consider them some of the greats. Hell, you can consider Andre the Giant one of the greats, but not me.
We haven't done a top 10 or a top 20 in a very long time.
I'm just saying. I've been getting a lot of flack about, Half Past Black doesn't appear on our stream as often. Oh, maybe we should have more Half Past Black matches. Look, you guys need the good with the bad. Once upon a time, when I'm showing up every week, right, I'm getting flack because, hell, losing to the judges, winning the room, but losing to the judges. Now, when I make a once-a-month appearance, so to say, I get flack for that. I mean, come on. Is that really just? Is that necessary?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. I haven't been hearing a lot of the flack, but I will say this. When you've gone on the Brody schedule, we don't hear about the 0-17 Half Past Black streak. We hear about Half Past Black winning, Half Past Black stealing the show, and the judges agreeing.
And see, and to me, that right there, the simple fact that we are willing to come out here and lay it all on the line and put everything in front of y'all, that's our heart, our passion for this. To me, That's why I should be a part of the top 20, easy, top tier. Because regardless of what my work schedule is, nothing comes before entertaining our fans. Nothing.
And that's true. We might have to do another top 10 here in a little while here coming up into 2024. Like I said, the thoughts are making it mean something more than just for bragging rights.
I think what we need. Black brings up a good point, and Black, I feel you, because I was like that. People said the same thing about me at one point in my career. Mayhem, you know what we need? We need a top 10 year in review of the HSP roster to set the stage for 2024. The top 10 going into the new year.
All right. I will take that challenge on, and that will appear before our show on January 11th. I will come up with that. And I'm going to do one better. I will make it a top 15.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like we have guys out there in that locker room, they deserve their respect. There's these things, I call it a lot of flowers or whatever you want to say. I'm not really one for what's to say participation trophies, but there's a certain level of achievement that people are out here has actually achieved. Like I want you to think about it. Like the losses that I've taken, almost all of those guys have come and became future champions for you all. Like
That's true.
that was top tier talent that molded me. I appreciated those vicious freaking fights. You know why? It made me look into myself. It made me tap into half past black and what half past black is actually capable of.
That's true.
A lot of people don't think about that. They just think about the losses, but they don't think about the fact that I was 1 point away from freaking beating American Roughneck, who went on to become the second Pure Heart champion. I tied Storyteller, Coin Flip. He beat me, first Pure Heart champion. 2 points of winning against Old School, Pure Heart champion. I just tied A-List Elverson, first Grand Slam champion. All that criteria right there, to me, respectfully, I feel I should be in conversation for a top 20 spot.
And you make a very, very compelling argument. A very compelling argument.
There's other people out there that's like that for me. Like AEP. To me, no one puts in the heart or the drive or the grind like AEP. Come on, do you ever have to worry about AEP gonna drop a hype? Hell no.
Nope, not once.
Hell no. Because that's passion for this. You know, like I'm just saying, like all these things need to be taken in consideration. Like, you know, like this guy, like Shady McKenzie. I watched Shady McKenzie versus Tom Shadamas. I'm gonna tell you straight up and down, right? Matches like that, I qualified as match of the year to me. Like, regardless of the actual outcome, it was a fact that we had two top-tier talents. They really gave everyone their money's worth.
That they did. You're very, very right. And the one thing I'll caveat on your thing with AEP, you never get a phoned-in thing from AEP. He gives you something new every time.
Exactly. The man is unpredictable. He kind of reminds me. He's our Jeff Hardy.
That's a good analogy.
He's our Jeff Hardy.
I would agree with that.
But stay sober. Sober Jeff. You know,
yep.
He's an enigma, man. A freaking enigma. Like, if you're not a fan of his work, then you're not really a fan of what it is to be a promo artist.
That's true.
Should we say he's more a Mick Foley? Because it took many, many years for people to appreciate Mick's body of work.
That's a very, very good point.
Yeah, I can go for that. I can really go for that, considering that Mick had to literally quit, leave, come back, and prove his worth all over.
Because nobody, as far as management, respected him in WCW when he was Cactus. And it took the fans a while to really get it.
It would be ECW when the fans finally started to get it.
Yeah.
He went buck wild.
And let's face it, Mick got put through some of the worst matches that has been
documented.
Oh God! Sorry, I'm having flashbacks of Halloween Havoc. Do
you remember the Beta
Mayhem knows what I'm talking about.
The
Beta Powerbomb. That was a good storyline. That WCW just don't leave that there.
And then they have him lost in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So as long as AEP does not lose an ear in Germany, he should be all right.
Yes, and I'm a big fan of AEP. A lot of people, I was one of the ones that stood up for AEP when The Purge, when Justin Smith selected him to be part of the Soulfire tournament, because we wanted to have an outsider come in from a new company. And a lot of people were like, well, AEP is not very good. He's not going to win. And he struggled here a little bit. We're a different breed. And he's become, for better or for worse, he has competed against A-list Alverson and competed against the storyteller back to back. And while both of them got him 20 scored perfect scores, he showed out himself. He didn't lose by much, even though he got perfect back to back. So
he really reminded me every time I watch AEP, it reminded me of myself. Like you look at like prime example. Look at this. I had A-list and Carter Diamond back to back, right? I could have folded and just went away, but instead I looked at it like, okay, this is a challenge. So what do? I try my best. You bring everything that you got to the table, and that's what AEP does. He brings everything he has to the table plus more. I saw the man throw a damn Pokemon, bro. Freaking, I lost my shit. Like on God, I had to put that when I had to put that promo. I had to mirror it on my freaking 75-inch television and scream like a little freaking girl because he threw a freaking Pokemon at some damn body. It's those little moments. It's those moments that lends credibility to who that person is as a promo artist.
exactly.
And to be honest with you, that's the point that I'm trying to prove to the cartel when I say there's some type of machine. They think this is a standard blueprint and it should be followed this way. They're very, if it comes out of a box, it's over type thinking.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you both this question here. Jordan Drake, I'll start with you on this one. AEP, if promoing existed 30 years ago, would AEP be a world champion? Because I feel he is a throwback to when story was more important than movesets.
I want to preface this as something because I feel the same way about AEP that I feel about Half Past Black. And Black, I don't know if you know that there is a term in wrestling of the eighth man. That in proper structure of a company in the world champion or the main event scene, there's normally 8 top guys, like in a nice sized company. You and AEP, I both consider that 8th man. That guy that every single match, and I didn't always think so about you, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't always think so about you. But no matter who we put you in the ring with, it is a main event caliber match. It is a pay-per-view selling caliber main event. Do I think that he could be a world champion? Yes. But I also think it would be very situational to the people around him, whether he would be a long-lasting and good world champion.
All right. And Half Past Black, I was going to ask you the same question. Because you care a lot about story.
Yeah, I do. Like it's, and because things, I feel like this. You can get over with the losses. You can get over with the wins. There's only one way to get these people to care about you, and that's to follow that story.
Exactly.
And I feel like, like if this was the perfect world, yeah. If this was the perfect company, absolutely, hands down. He'll be a multi-time champion. Like prime example. I mean, look at Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze is a prime example. He shocked the world. Do y'all not remember? Everyone was totally against him beating A-list. And I was like, look, I'm telling you, I just faced this man. Like, the dude does his homework. He does his ground. I mean, A-List took his eye off the ball for 1 second. Seriously. It took him a little bit too light, like he done me, for 1 second. And look what happened. Johnny Blade took it from him.
That's true. And Johnny Blade did shock the world. He was a huge fan here of us. He'd been watching our shows, and he decided, he's been doing the managerial thing. He wanted to try his hand here to see how he compared against people who only focus on the promo world. A manager has to focus on other things that are going on in the ring. So while their mic work is good, they have other things to focus. Promo artists, it's all they focus on, the use of their words. And he's proven himself pretty well.
Yeah, he's true. He knows how to take his word and create a scenery around him.
He does.
That's what this is all about. So put it this way. No matter what top 10 or top 15 y'all make, I'm willing to bet cash money. If you take our top 15 and put it against any other Fed, promise you, it's going to be a jaw-dropping event every time.
It's true.
I'm not saying everything's about wins and losses, but a jaw-dropping event, because we have a lot of people that really truly care about what we do, what this product actually produces.
It's true. We do have people that compete in here that compete in other places, so the top 15s would have some of the same names, but there's a difference in how they compete here versus how they compete in some of the other places. And some of them have brought it. I'm going to use a prime example of Sergeant Chaos, now Sergeant Havoc. Sergeant Chaos, when he first came in, was a little dry. Yes, he's got good wordplay, but he was dry. He came here, and the judge is giving him some constructive criticism. Now he's Sergeant Havoc. He's got a drill sergeant persona that works for him, and you can see the improvement here, and he's taken it to other places, but he does his better work here because I've seen him in other things. So, yes, I agree with that statement of it's not just the top 15 because they're going to be same names. It's what they do here.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if you would give me a match versus 7 here, right? We would be liable to light the world on fire. Our fast pace, our quick wit, our similes, we create haikus. It's an electric event. Me versus 7 here. But if you take the same match with me versus 7 somewhere else, his drive might not be there. Right. His passion might not. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I'll say this even to verify your statement here. We first met in VOH when you competed against American Roughneck there. Yeah. You guys here had a whole different level of match, and it was the third match between the two of you guys.
Exactly. What I say on the screen isn't all just for the show. I do deliver jaw-dropping, mic-dropping performances, and that's what I encourage everyone out there to do. This is what I mean when I say it's about elevation. This is what I mean, changing the way people think about how promo is presented. Like me and the storyteller, we fought each other, saved each other. We're going to war together. Yep. How great of a tale is that?
It's a great story. And speaking of someone else who likes to tell a great story, let's bring him on here. He's telling everybody hi, the villain.
It's been a long time since I've been on screen, especially on the Pulse now, hasn't it?
Yes, we've got 3 legitimate storytelling promo guys out there that love to tell a great story. So I know you've been listening in, Villain. What's your thoughts on Half Past Black's comment about that people compete different here and that HSP has the best top 15 around in our bubble of the promo game?
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I don't know. I do agree. HSP is totally different from everywhere else. Now, everyone, it's no secret. Everybody does promo in other organizations as well. So it's like we're no matter what, we're always, I would say, getting better and fine tuning that little craft. And what we learn somewhere else, we're bringing here, and what we're going to learn here, we'll take somewhere else. So I think no matter what, I can't say that we have the best 15 per se because the 15's everywhere. Almost the same 15 people are everywhere we go in the promo world. I just think when it comes to HSP, we try to do a better job of telling the story better. And I know going forward, that's one of the things we're going to do is continue to tell those stories.
Yes, that we definitely do. So then I guess I want to ask all of you guys. You guys have all worked in other places. Does the booking and the leash being let off here versus other places, do you think that affects, or is it more of the people that are performing want to compete and show their best because that's their nature? So Jordan Drake, we'll start with you since you haven't competed here, but you've been aware of us and been a supporter of us from the beginning.
You bring up the fact of booking. I can say unequivocally that we are one of the very few shoot style promo organizations that has evolving booking, because those that have shoot style like ours that are not, we don't have any predetermined outcomes, winners or scores, normally refuse to lay out any sort of storyline involving booking and leave it completely up to any sort of little micro storylines the competitors wish to put in themselves. But for us to be able to pivot and change ideas that we have had, and ladies and gentlemen, there have been a few times where we thought there's no way if person B is going to beat person A. It's happened, and it's literally Mayhem calls me, and we're like, how in the hell? And we change an entire booking plan for the next 3 to 6 months. That, to me, sets HSP in a different league of having active overall storytelling and trying to create a cohesive story within our continuum, opposed to, say, those organizations that leave it completely up to the individuals without any input from management, and they're just there to finalize the matches and make sure everybody shows up.
All right. Half Past Black, your thoughts?
But see, like, I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because one thing about me, like I want you to, I want this to be very understood. I want this to be broadcasted to the heights of the highest. I don't promo everywhere else. I stay here, which means that top 15, you're gonna have to see me because I don't everywhere else. And when I come over here and I drop that height, and I make you realize exactly how serious I take this and how far I'm willing to go with this. That's me sitting in the olive branch asking you to come with me. So with the booking and my personal, I guess you could say ego. Like, to be honest with you, me and Heathen had like two of the biggest egos here. Like, you could not fit us in a damn room together. You know what I'm saying? And it all boils down to our pride of how we like to present. You know, so you have the pride part, and then the fact of like when y'all book me against people that have dominated everywhere. So obviously I know these people are good. So, you know, the opportunities that y'all give us are absolutely endless. And the freedom for us to go out and perform, that's solely on who we are as a performer, put it that way. Like, we rarely have guys that's just gonna telephone this in like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm the badass, I'm the big bad booty motherfucker, I'm big bad booty daddy. Click. We don't have that.
That's true. That's true. And John, the reason I saved you for last on this one, you have competed in leagues that are what they know as scripted, or the matches are already predetermined. You just cut the promo based upon what they want, more a la professional wrestling. So, one, what's your feel on that? Do you think it saps the creativity, or are you fine with it? And two, and the question of the booking and leadership style here versus in other places.
So I'm gonna answer the second one first. The evolution of the booking here, it has grown over time. Like when I first got here, there'll be times where, and I know we have talked about it on many occasions, where I'm scratching my head on why, like, all of a sudden X amount of people are getting opportunities to go after a title when they haven't really, to me, deserved it at that moment. And I know as time has gone on, we have started to evolve that booking. And again, I think Jordan hit it right on the head with the person A, person B beating person A, and we weren't expecting that to happen, and then all of a sudden, yes, you do have to make changes, and I think the adaptability of the booking team over time has been able to grow as well, and I know that will continue to grow going forward into the future. Now, the second half of that is with the between the shoot promoing like we do here to scripted where I've done everywhere else. I think it actually takes away from the competitors because of like if you are being told, "Hey, you're not being pushed, but we need you to put somebody else over," but kind of giving you a word of, "Hey, if you could do this, we'll push you in the next one." It kind of puts you down a little bit because you're like, okay, I know I got to technically make myself look good, but also still make the other person look better and somehow still lose the match, but then being told, oh, don't worry, you're going to be picked up afterwards. And then being, after all, it's really a lie because they want to push a specific person over. And so I think there's a place for that, and I don't think it's actually in the promo world. I think that's leave it to professional wrestling to use that because like you want to be able to push everybody because again, I think it's interesting when you get person B beating person A, as we've already said. So I like that underdog story. Like we've seen multiple underdog stories. I would love to be able to see a Jody or a Prince Blackheart, a Purge somehow find their way and end up winning the Pure Heart or the Soulfire, and so I just don't think, like I said, I don't think the scripted really works with what promo does.
That's true, and I'll agree from the standpoint of having been a professional wrestler. Promo doesn't have the test matrix and network systems to make us know what works and doesn't work. Like in the scripted world of professional wrestling, we can hear crowd reactions. They can put people in every audience you go to include the WWE, AEW, TNA, ROH, or your local indie show. They have one or two guys out there who are judging based upon crowd reaction and talking to them who the crowd is getting, who the crowd is not getting, who the crowd wants to go away, and who the crowd wants to see more of. We don't have that metric here in the promo world because despite the fact that we like to brag about we would have 20, 25, 30 numbers on there, we can't tell if those 25 or 30 numbers are our own people, friends and family of our own people, or somebody who stumbled across us. We don't have that metric. So I feel that the scripted hurts us because there's no way to tell if you're actually doing better than you're overproducing, being that person that they're pushing, or if you're somebody who should be getting pushed and you're not because you're not friends. There's no other metric. And I
Uh,
think that's why we really like the shoot thing here, because last prime example of the underdog story, AEP beating the Vagabond. Everybody was shocked by that one.
I think, to put it simply, it is the language of promo artistry that cannot translate properly into the shoot language of professional wrestling, the scripted language of professional wrestling.
I mean, okay, but in the same sense, like we don't necessarily have the live interactions. Now, one thing that has kept me going throughout my career here has been the interactions with the chats. The live comments.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm sitting up here, I'm performing, and I'm seeing that I'm getting a reaction. The judges might not get me, but like I told you, I had this unique ability to win the room, but wouldn't win the match. So to a certain extent, we have it, but we don't have it. Like sometimes you can feel like something's working when you're promoing, but an hour later when you're reading those results, it's a different story. Prime example, Quack them shitted on me. I mean, they were like, oh, he's going to get his ass handed to him by Carter Diamond, right? I'm going to get fucking mutilated, you know? And, but
That's because Dr. Quack is trying to get his way back into HSP by buddying up to the cartel.
here's the problem with that. I'm kicking the cartel's ass February 25th. So that means any and everything that's associated with them, including him, is going to get booted to the left too.
Well, there you go. Now, if you can get Rich Man off the board, I'd be really happy.
Well, and really one of the things that you brought up is the geez, now even like you guys were going on and I forgot what I was going to fully say, but I do agree with everything you guys said, and it is interesting to see it, and I also think it's based on how does the promo art, like how the promo artists are presenting themselves on screen. Are they looking nervous when they're talking? Like, what language are they using? Do they purposely need to try to use the like foul language every other word, or can they use that to their advantage where when they do bring it out, it's rough and tough. Like, I am not gonna lie, Heathen to me is still one of the best talkers when it comes to the promos. Old School, one of the best talkers when it comes to promos. Storyteller, just being able to tell that story and being able to find the language and just make you think about what the promo is going to be about. Like like here in the HSP, I've seen more and more of those good talkers. Like Vagabond, if he can, like, to me, if Vagabond gets rid of all that like goofiness of like editing and just use his words and let his words do the fighting, I think he's up there with the Heathens, the storytellers, the old schools, because he just has the way with the words, the flow of his promo. I was told a long time ago, like I think it was like 2 years ago, when I first started really getting into a groove under the promos, get rid of the edits. Let those words talk, because at the end of the day, the words are going to make you get you the wins. It's not going to be the, oh well, he had the cool edits, so we're going to give him the win for the edits. No, it's the words. What are you saying that's going to win the judges over? What is the words that you're going to say to get get the audience to grab the attention to. So I think that's another thing that really draws that attention too.
But see, the thing is I agree with you what you're saying, but I have been told specifically, and they judges notes, oh my God, that guy's intro was awesome.
Oh, I'm not talking intro. Like, yes,
No, I'm saying like the judge. So it's like you didn't listen to what I said, but you just looked at it thick ass. So sometimes you need it all because you gotta learn to play to the people that you are really in front of. So you, one thing I like about Vagabond is he's willing to keep doing it because it's what he loves. It was makes him stand out. If you don't stand out, you're sheep.
well, I'm not saying like the intros. Yes, that's the other thing that like what was it? My favorite intro has to be between Heathen and Fear the Beards. Actually, Fear the Beards just because their name is always awesome, and I know I've been away, so I don't know who's still fully technically around and whatnot. But yes, your intro starts it off. That's what's gonna start grabbing that attention. But what are you going to do after that? And I like, to me, when it comes to the promo, it shouldn't be the edits. It should come down to what are you saying to grab my attention. I shouldn't have to say, well, I think that I think him doing an RGB effect is great on the promo. Why like, I want to see more of that. No, I'm going to be listening to the words. Is he attacking his opponent? Is he defending himself? What is he saying that makes me want to listen to more of what he has to say? What's going to drive me to want to listen to him? And the next time he comes around on a show, I want more of that. I don't want the, hey, he's doing the edits. He's like going black and white. He's doing lightning bolts going across the screen. He's sitting behind fog where he's disappeared. That's where, like, after a while, it's like, and yet, well, add on to that is you also have to adapt. You have to continue to change as well. And to me, I think that's where another, like, a lot of, like, as much as I can remember right now, Vagabond, a lot of his promos are the same. It's the same thing. We know, okay, he's gonna get you with the words and the flow right off the beginning, and then all of a sudden that flip, and it's like, I've seen this before. I already know where we're gonna go with it. So with a half-glass plaque promo, you never know what's gonna. He could swing from the left. He could swing from the right. Hey, you're going from behind. Who knows where you're gonna go with that promo? I like that kind of promo. I want to be caught, be on my toes to what you're going to say. I don't want to be able to say, pretty much figure out where you're going to say before you even get it out.
Well, let me ask you this question here, Jordan Drake, and then we'll let everybody else go with this. You started out in a place where edits or filters were a mandatory, unwritten mandatory. What is your thoughts on them as far as, do they have a place? Should they be something that's part of the show, or should it be part of the story? Because I know you personally don't use them.
I personally don't use them only because I have my own set of self-rule. And the number one rule is I treat promoing here as if I'd be in the ring. There is no take two. My biggest gripe with cuts and edits and splices has always been, I have seen promos in my career that if you check the way that it was cut and time stamped and all the like, there's at least 9 separate takes to do 1 2.5 minute 3.5 minute promo. Now, if you sit down and talk with the individuals that are doing that or have done that, they'll tell you, oh yeah, I did like 30, 40 takes to get that film.
Mm-hmm.
that's when I start viewing it as, okay, are we giving them the win for what they said in the promo, or are we giving them the win for artistic license? Because yes, it's great to go, okay, that was a great promo that he did. It only took him 3 hours to come up with it all, and it took him another hour and a half to get all the film in. And then it took him another hour to splice it all together, and that's how he won. Like,
Yeah, well, that and also like the the static effects and stuff that a lot of people put in. That's all the same.
yeah. And there were many individuals when I first came into the promo world that out of a, let's say, 7-match card, and I'm pushing that, and John's going to say something. Yes, I know I'm pushing that for a 7-match card in those days, but there were a few. I would say out of 14 men, 9 of those promos were splice jobs. Okay, now when you're looking at not that number being splice jobs, again, are we judging the promo or are we judging the artistic? Are we, like, it's like saying this: are we giving him the award for best actor, or are we giving him the award for the best director?
Or best editor, because editors get awards too.
Correct. Whereas, people would think, would actually ask me, it's like, well, you don't do, well, what happens if you mess up 3 minutes? Oh, well, if it's bad enough, I start it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it goes to that point of, I don't get a take 2 in wrestling. So I just have to get my thoughts settled to run 3.5 solid minutes to entertain the crowd, to pop the crowd, pop the boys maybe, and kick some ass for something. Now, that a lot of times has backfired on me because the audience and the judges want more sizzle, less steak. And I've said this to many people. I don't promo like Shawn Michaels. I promo like Bret Hart.
Yes.
It's not to say that people that like to promo like Shawn Michaels and people that like promos by Shawn Michaels, hey, that's your cup of tea, but I promo like Bret Hart.
All right, and Half Past Black, you're one of those that likes to do it all in one take. You don't do a lot of graphics. You are one of the most passionate. You bring the raw emotion more than most people do in the promo world, and you do it in one take. So, what's your thoughts on the graphics and the edits and all that stuff?
I mean, personally, like if my opponent's doing it, I don't really mind it, because I feel like I do feel like it dilutes the product, so to say. But if you're not saying anything that goes with it, it kind of it will backfire itself. Like I remember I had a match against Hodgson one time,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing these crazy ass freaking edits, and like he'll be on the left, then he's on the right, and then, these one liners, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, and it was a close match, and I was like, damn, this motherfucker, but I felt like he wasted his idea and his energy on me because he touched around his very next match and lost because you've exerted your ideas. Like if you're gonna do it when it means something. You get what I'm saying?
I remember that match. He was doing the Matt Hardy teleportation.
Yes, exactly. Like Undertaker leaps over the ropes at WrestleMania, not at freaking Elimination Chamber or whatever. It's no. He waits for it at WrestleMania. If you're gonna do it when it means something.
Exactly. And something I'll say before we go to John here, I've always said this to other people, and I've said this to Master of Illusion. Master of Illusion is a very, very talented guy that uses too many graphics. Because as Half Past Black said, if you're going to use a graphic or use an edit or use a filter, there has to be a reason for it. You don't want to do it just to do it. You don't want to have a fire promo going on all over the place and then you're talking about being a heavenly guy. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. And I think that's done a lot in a lot of ways. And so, John, that's why I'm prefacing here to you. You do edit from time to time. You do add some of these graphics in here, but you at least always try and make it part of your overall presentation and explain why it exists. So, same question to you about the graphics and edits in general.
So I look there. I'm gonna look at this in two parts. The first part is the getting the promo out and actually talking. Now, I know there are some people who, and I am one of those. I cannot get. I have a hard enough time already to get, say, 7 minute promo, or I won't even say 7, 3.5 minute promo, and get it the way I want it. So you have, like, for me, I have no choice but to break it down, and I'll cut it into segments. And that's where you're talking about. For me, it's like I find a way. Okay, like this goes back to kind of being scripted, because I'll write out my promo before I even do it. And here, this is the background of how I do my promos. I write it out, and then I start figuring out, okay, what the emotion is going to be to that promo. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now where should I make the breaks so I can flow it in to make it easier to cut and edit and put it all together. And I know I'm probably going to get people that don't like me for that. And honestly, hey, it's how I have, like, how my brain thinks. Like, I know there are some promo artists who have stuttering problems, so they have no choice but to cut some stuff because they have no choice. And like, for those who can do 2.5, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and not have to do a take, like not do more than one take, great on you. I wish I could be there with you, but
No. I've done 7.5 straight.
oh, I know.
That's not something that is not something that I endorse in any way, shape, or form.
But that match with Madness was a great match.
But that's what I'm saying. For those who can actually do that, you're a league. To me, you're in a league above everybody else. Even if, like for me, I am, like, some of my best promos. I probably could have taken away a lot of the edits, the blurring a little bit, so and fading the image myself a little bit, so you're not really focused on me, you're focused on my words. I could have taken all that away, and it still would have been, you'd still feel the promo the same way. Sometimes, to me, when, like, the editing aspect of it now, if you're going to add stuff, make sure it helps your promo, it doesn't take away. Like, a lot of my promos, you could tell if I'm half-assing my promo or if I'm not. I think Mayhem has seen some of my best promos, and I'll get messages afterwards, like after they watch it, and they're like, "Whoa!" And then you could see if, like, well, yeah, it's not my best effort, but I always will give you what I can, and just make sure when you do your edits, and you're gonna add something, make sure it adds to your promo, and it doesn't take away. It doesn't be like, well, I felt it, and then all of a sudden something happened, and then I'm just like, I'm left dumbfounded. I'm like, or it's like, now I'm wanting more, but not in the good wanting more. Like, I'm expecting better. Like, I don't remember who it was. I know. There's a couple of promo artists that will do it from time to time. Like, Shady Sean McKenzie, from time to time, he could be really, really good, or he could be behind some of the other promo artists. Now, I know he hasn't been on screen in a while, and I hope he does come back soon, and I hope he has that fire again. But I'll, Mayhem could talk about this because I pretty much got reamed right after I did this. I lit into Jody and Damian Cross, for those who do not know his real name, Jody. I lit into him, and I was playing the pretty much the badass that was gonna. I didn't care what I was saying. I would rip into anybody at that point. And his promos right after that, you felt the fire, you felt the change in the character, the editing that he did to make it better. I enjoyed it. I wanted to see more of it. And then he changed it again. And it was like he always wanted to keep evolving it when he shouldn't have. And it was just like, it's like, why? Do I have to go back to just start? Do I have to pretty much light the fire back under you? So like I said, make sure when you edit, don't take away from your promo. That's why, like, for me, I've started taking away the editing aspect, and the only edits you'll get is maybe changing the filter a little bit and then cutting it, making sure that you get the flow where you don't see the transition as much. And so I got away from doing all the other stuff.
All right, so we'll start wrapping this up. I didn't expect to get into such a good conversation here. Thank you, George, for doing that. Half Past Black. So we're going to go ahead and we'll give a final thought. What you'd like to see in Heart and Soul Promotions in 2024, besides Half Past Black being number one or even on the top 15 list.
Well, what I want to see is I want to see a list that consists of the top promos across the whole promoverse, and I want to make sure we're at least in the top 5. Like, I want it to be known right here and right now that if I step in a ring with any damn body in HSP, you better be ready to put on a damn show. If not, you're gonna get left behind. You know,
All
like
right.
it's not exactly a threat. It's an invitation for you to evolve with me.
All right. John, take us home. Your thoughts what you'd like to see at HSP in 2024.
I know I've talked to a couple people about this, and I think this would be great for the HSP, especially for those who are still trying to find their way along the promo and pretty much in the HSP as a whole. And I would love to see more of a division-based promos. So how break it into divisions. You have the Soulfire, you have Pure Heart, and then tag team could be their whole different thing who can go into both divisions. But I would love to see it broken down where you have the best of the best going after one belt and let make the other one the Intercontinental Championship, make it the workhorse. Let that title build that champion up so they can get to that next level. A la like the early, well, I would say not early, but late 80s, early 90s, going into the Attitude Era. What was the title that really made The Rock before he became the WWE champion? It was the Intercontinental title. So I would love to be able to start building that, and hopefully we can get to that where we can build that division and then let them build it up and let it make it grow so both titles at the end of the day are on that same level.
Sounds good. I hinted at that's something that's being discussed in the backstage of having that. So hopefully we'll see that here very, very soon. And I want to say, gentlemen, and to Jordan Drake, thank you for a great conversation. Thank you for being part of Heart and Soul Promotion family. Thank you to those of you that stayed with us and watched us the whole time. 2024, we're going to see more great matches like always. I know we're going to see more great Half Past Black. We may talk the villain into making a couple of more appearances. We've already been told Tin Man is getting bored. He might want to get into a match pretty soon, so we might see the Tin Man back. We may see Jordan Drake make an appearance on here. Gentlemen, and to all the fans out there, thank you for a great 2023, and we'll see you in 2024.